Welcome to Comfort Time with Aunty Yunike, where we share testimony stories. Testimonies of miracles encountered, testimonies of business stories, and testimonies of life lessons learned and experienced. Today is a special day on Comfort Time because we have a guest. Our guest for today is Sandra Ajiman, and she's going to share with us about Easter. So Sandra, welcome to Comfort Time, welcome to Aunty Yunike. I'm so happy to have you here. Sandra is very special to me. We've come from a long way. Remember, we were at Roma Parish together, and when I came to St. Agnes, I found Sandra here, so it's like I'm following you where you're going. So please, truly welcome. I'm blessed to have you with me.
Thank you so much, Auntie Mary. I'm very honored to be here. It's a pleasure to be on Comfort Time. Great.
So today we are discussing Easter, and I'd like to invite Sandra to explain to us what Easter means to her.
Thank you so much, Auntie Mary. Easter, it's a very beautiful period. It's actually my favorite period in the Christian or Catholic calendar because it's a period of very deep reflection. It's a period of self-introspection. It's also a period to make peace, a period to show love, and a period to really marvel at God's creation. So for me, Easter is a very deep period, and I do appreciate that it's, especially as Catholics, we celebrate it with such vigor. And especially when I see someone like you in church standing up and giving praise, especially after receiving the Eucharist. And yeah, it's a wonderful period. I do appreciate it. I'll go into a little bit more detail in terms of what Easter means to me, personally.
Yes.
At a global level, we celebrate Easter because it is the resurrection, the death and resurrection of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a period of hope, a period of renewal. And there is nothing that can sum up hope than to know someone has died and resurrected and even lived among us, mm-hmm, and shown us examples. And that gives us all the hope that one day we will all die, but we will certainly live in Christ.
That's awesome. That's a good explanation, Sandra. But we are talking global here. So globally, do you have any suggestions, or do you have any information you'd like to share with our people out there?
Absolutely. Easter is a period for everybody. It's not just for Catholics. I think in the whole Christian, denomination, religion, people all over the world celebrate Easter. And I think this year in particular, we also see the Muslims and the Christians also have major religious events which will be falling about the same period. Mm-hmm. Meaning that at a global level, everybody's in deep reflection of their relationship with God. Mm-hmm. And I think that the whole essence, especially of the culmination of the whole Lenten period towards Easter as the culmination of our celebration of resurrection, is really to look at ourselves in terms of how we live with other people, to look at the needs of those who do not have and try to provide. And I think the principles of Easter among, I keep reflecting and saying Catholics, but among Christians, is really giving alms, praise and worship of God, prayer, fasting, and giving alms. These are the three main pillars. Yeah. Great. So I think as for all Christians, it's a period of deep reflection. And if this period doesn't really move you, I really don't think there is anything.
No, it will. That's awesome. I'd like you to go deeper into what you just alluded to. You talked of family relationships, reconciliation, and deep reflection. Can you say more about that, please?
It's a period of reflection, family, and reconciliation. Reconciliation in that Jesus died and reconciled the whole of humanity to God. And through him, he paid the price, the ultimate price, to give everybody an opportunity to enter into heaven. Family relationships, because especially when we look at ourselves during the Lenten period or during this period as we culminate towards Easter, there is something so huge, something so great that we are about to celebrate. And normally, because we have these holidays that come up, it's a great time for families to come together. And it's also an opportunity for family members where you have not seen each other to be able to pull yourselves, come together over a meal and talk. And also, clean out issues that have been, maybe have stopped people from getting together, talking to each other, mingling. It's an opportunity to really reflect deeply. If Jesus could give up his life for the whole of humanity, what more do we need? And that is why, especially when we celebrate the Eucharist as Catholics, just before we receive the Eucharist, which is the celebration, and it is actually in memory of the crucifixion and resurrection of Christ, we offer each other peace. It's very powerful. We must offer each other peace before we go to the altar. And so as families, this is an opportunity to actually go back and do a lot of introspection and deep reflection in terms of where we want to be. Do we want peace? The whole world is in turmoil. We see conflict in so many places. There's hunger, economic struggle, but that should not stop any of us. Love is the easiest thing to give, and yet we make it so difficult to share love. Easter is a time of deep love. He who lays down his life for others is the greatest act of love. Thank you.
Oh, that is awesome. Well said, Sandra. I just shared with someone who was struggling with forgiveness, and what came up was that forgiveness is biblical. We have to forgive. If we want to be forgiven, we need to forgive. But there's the issue of reconciliation. There are times in reconciliation when reconciliation is not safe. So how do we deal with issues where the reconciliation is not safe, and maybe the people who are talking about are not remorseful, and they're not willing to come forward so that you can put things on the table and thrash them out? How do you deal with that kind of situation?
Thank you, Auntie Mary. Relationships can be complex. Human relationships, nobody says it's easy. The most important thing about life is intent. Mm-hmm. It's the state of mind. And as we say, what is in your heart? Mm-hmm. If your intention is really to forgive, go ahead and forgive. It does not matter whether the other person is making an effort to reach out to you or not. God is the owner of time. God is time. Sometimes people do need time to come around. And life is such that all of us go through phases where sometimes very tragic, sometimes, in most cases, I will say, it's the most tragic circumstances that give us an opportunity to do a lot of introspection, and it brings us around. So even when you've forgiven people, they do need an element of space and time to come around. It should not be a given that, oh, because I have forgiven you, immediately we're the greatest of friends. No, people need time to come around. Some take time, some are very quick and they reflect and they move on. For some, they do need time.
Thank you so much, Sandra. That was our guest on Comfort Time today. Sandra, you've been awesome. I'm sure a lot of people will feel free now that it has been explained, because I know, like I explained, people struggle with forgiveness because they feel forgiveness means immediately you get together. But the aspect of giving each other time after we have forgiven each other, I think that will bring a lot of comfort to a lot of people. Thank you so much for being with us, for accepting to be on Comfort Time. Comfort Time continues. Stay blessed. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. And always remember to give it a thumbs up and share widely. Stay blessed. See you in the next video.